Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Red Cartel. I am your host, Errol Smith, and we are back tonight with another panel of cartel members. I've got them back again, a couple of new faces as well, a couple of lads that you've seen now, kind of getting used to seeing on the Red Cartel. And we are going to unpack the events from this week in the European competitions. We're going to touch on a little bit of Man United's future plans, trying to future-proof the club with Sir Jim Ratcliffe announcing some really big plans in the guise of a 100-seater stadium, probably one of the biggest investments in the Northwest for a very long time. And then we'll also touch on the prospects of the Man United and Arsenal getting some European competition and success this season. Is it possible? Is it likely? I don't know. But guys that are going to come out and tell me if it's possible, let's know right now. Boom. Here is my panel this night. For tonight's show, ladies and gents, we have got Roms, big up yourself. Everybody can take yourselves off mute now, gang. Everybody's in the building. Roms, how you doing, bro? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just feeling a bit bloated. Broke my fast and just had too much to eat, bro. But other than that, I'm good. Big up Just, big up Hooks, Tezza, Flawless, Errol, big up everyone.
Big up, bro. Big up. Just Day from Fanzone TV. Obviously, we've been doing a show midweek with Mons as well. But I thought, let's get you down onto the Red Cartel, brother. I know that you guys have got some good stuff, some good content going out lately. I've seen a couple of your videos this week. How you doing, bro? You all good?
Yeah, I'm there, bro. Get the call up, you know what I'm saying? Come from what, Kivior to, I don't know, Lewis Skelly or something, you get me? So. Come on, bro.
Love to see it. Halftime hooks. I don't think you've rattled anybody yet. I haven't seen nothing. No one's in my mentions. No one's saying nothing. I've not seen no mad posts going out on Insta the last couple of days. Are you having a bit of a hiatus? What are you telling me?
No, do you know what it is? Yeah, because I'm still thinking about who I want to trigger more in it. Because obviously this season I've had the Newcastle United fans on my case, and I had the Liverpool fans on my case in it. So I'm just thinking about who get me. We're pointing at, but we'll find out tomorrow in it. But obviously, big up having me on again. Obviously, big up the panel, and I like the fact that you had the Champions League trophy behind Arteta. I see what you're doing there, putting it in the air. I respect that. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Tezza, I know we've already spoke a couple times this week, bro. I seen you cooking on Twitter, Loki. I'm not even gonna lie. You was kind of onto something, and maybe we'll touch on that at some point tonight. But first and foremost, how you doing? You good?
Yeah, man, all good. Happy to be here, and shout out to the panel as well.
Big up. A man like Flawless in the cut there as well. Looking kind of moody still, bro. Everything okay over there?
I'm blessed, man. All good. Blessed to be here. Big up the panel. Yeah, man. No complaints. All good, man.
Big up, right. Let's jump straight into it then, lads. Let's chop it up. And obviously, this week, probably one of the biggest talking points to come out of the European games was the fact that Liverpool got dumped out of the Champions League by PSG on penalties. It was a bitter blow as a Liverpool fan to watch that. I did the watch along here at Redmen on Redmen 1. And do you know what? The longer the game went on, I felt more confident that we'd get it over the line, just given being at home, having to take them to penalties. I just thought, but then you see some of the substitutes that we dealt with, McAllister going off, Szoboszlai going off, they're people that I would probably rely on to take penalties. It was a real difficult one to bounce back from, but there's not a lot of time to kind of lick your wounds when obviously Liverpool are now eyeing up a cup final on Sunday. Roms, you're my other Liverpool, what collaborator here in this space right now. Let me know your feelings after that.
I'm the opposite to you. The longer that tie went on, I think Champions League ties are won in spells. You don't have to be good both ties. But normally we've obliterated teams in spells. Remember when we knocked out Man City a couple of years ago? It was 3 goals within like 20, 25 minutes. It happened at the Allianz as well. I just thought the longer that game goes on, I don't personally rate Donnarumma, but one thing he's good at is penalties. He's got a big wingspan. He's tall. You know what I mean? You saw what he done in the Euros. I said, the longer this goes on, we'll lose. When it went to penalties, I said to my brother I was watching a game with, we're coming out still. We had to have done that within the 120 minutes. Obviously, it's a bitter pill because during the season, expectations change. That if you just said to us at the start of the season you're going to win just the Prem, forget even the Carabao right now. You just said to us with a new manager, you're just going to win the Prem. bro,
Bite your
we
hand.
would have been over the moon. But because the Prem looks like it's going to be done earlier than possible, we got Heritage in the Champions League, and we're in a cup final now. You're kind of feeling a bit deflated, but I do think it will only be for now. I think at the end of the season, once we won the Prem, and hopefully this Sunday, you'll look back at it and think, why are we complaining? We won the league. But that's a competition where I think it's kind of open this year. Obviously, you can never write off Madrid, but I looked at us as one of the favourites. Credit to Enrique and PSG as well. That team is cold. And if I'm being honest, me and Just did a show last week, and I said, the first leg, I think we were the better team. But if I'm being honest, bro, over both ties, they probably deserved it. That's me being honest. But it was a bit deflating, bro. Like I genuinely believe if we had got past PSG, we could have had a run to the final, depending on what happened with Madrid. But yeah, it's been a frustrating week, Errol. But again, this is where football, the narratives change like that. We now beat Newcastle and get 2 out of the 4. Do you get it?
Everyone's giddy. Everyone's giddy all over again.
Exactly. So we got a cup final to look forward to, which is going to be tough. I read a stat today, Errol. In the 21st century, any final we've won, we've only won 3 of them in 90 minutes, and we've been in about 16 or 17.
A bag of them. Yeah.
Crazy,
they take us through the ringer. Like Liverpool, we don't do things the easy way. And like I feel like we've kind of we've got accustomed to it. But I think this season, more than anything else, because, and again, I don't want to trigger the Arsenal fans, and by all means have your say, it feels as though the Premier League is going to be won at a canter. It feels as almost like you want to attribute that to Slot and being like, Slot's done a madness because we're not under that pressure and that pressure valve of everything, just feeling like every single game is do or die. But at the same time, Liverpool fans have got this embedded kind of PTSD almost of like, we have to do things the hard way. Like, we don't know any other way of kind of seeing success. It's like, it's never really just given to us. It doesn't just fall into our lap. And this season seems to be a bit of an outlier in that respect. You know, I'll open up to the other lads. Obviously, you guys may have watched it earlier in the week. You may have your own view on things. Were PSG that much better than Liverpool, or were Liverpool unlucky, boys? What are you telling me?
I think in the first leg, I actually think in the first leg that Liverpool were actually the better team. Like, I fully believe that the way that they set up, like, you could tell that what their game plan was. I think they executed it really well. It's just people think that pretty football and possession domination equals like playing better in it. But I feel like for what you wanted to do at their ground, I feel like you did really well. Now in the second leg, it's where I was very disappointed in Liverpool in it, because I expected you to do a lot better than what you actually did. Like, you let me down, yeah, and you took something away from me that I'll never be able to get back, and that is getting my revenge in the semi-final. But can't have it now, so is what it is. So I think
revenge for what? I'm confused.
For taking the league title away from me. Get a bit of revenge in the semi-final. Do you know what I mean?
So you've accepted it now, yeah? League's done. That you've accepted it.
By the way, yeah, nice try. But so,
you said it, not me. You said it, not me.
Man said the semi-final. You just getting past Madrid like that. I respect the confidence, Hooks.
Bro, pray for Madrid, settings. Pray for Madrid, bro.
No, Errol, get it right. Hashtag pray for Madrid. Make sure you say it right.
Hashtag pray for Madrid. Yeah.
You get it? So obviously, something that really like confused me though is that I've always, I don't know, you guys probably hear this word a lot, heritage, yeah. And I was always told, you know, heritage gets you it all. Like, I always heard that Arsenal's never going to win a Champions League because heritage. Arsenal's never going to beat Madrid, heritage. And then I'm sitting there thinking, this heritage thing must be a superpower. So Liverpool are definitely going through. But then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wait, PSG have never won the Champions League before. They don't have the heritage, and you, man, have like the second most heritage in European football. So I can't be surprised when I see Liverpool going out. So I just need someone to truly explain to me what this heritage thing actually is, because it's clearly not giving you man buffs. Do you know what I mean? It's not changing you man's fate, because you man He might challenge
Errol,
already.
let me stop Hooks here before he goes on a long one. I'll give you a simple definition. It works most of the time. There's going to be times here and there where it doesn't work. You know what I mean? We're not going to always be a team second leg at Anfield, but more or less it happens. You've seen it. You get it?
I'll even go as far as this. This, Rams, because Hooks will get this. Goku is Goku all the time, but every now and again he needs a sensu bean to get him over the line in big fights. You understand what I'm saying there, Hooks? And Liverpool.
Errol, is this anime stuff? Is this anime stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand it as well.
This is what I'm saying, bro.
I don't understand it as well. Still,
Errol, not you.
Yeah, but that was for Hooks. That was for me to try and Hooks.
I had more faith in you than that, Errol, man. I had more faith in you.
That was a good analogy, though. That was a good analogy.
But then, Errol, am I right in saying the sensu bean should have been our atmosphere? Because we're being honest, Errol. We've seen Anfield better than that.
Boom.
We've seen Anfield better than that. I think we didn't do enough as fans. You know what I mean?
I'm hearing, through the grapevine, that the Anfield atmosphere is it's a myth. Like you only really hear noise when you've scored or when you're singing your YNWA.
No. I see. I think there's definitely a thing going on at the moment where we are struggling to really get the most out of the Anfield atmosphere. And I spend a lot of my time in the studio when watching home games, so I can't speak for everybody, obviously, because I'm not there. But from the outside looking in, and from what I hear from the lads that do go to the ground very often, it's more a case of it's hard at this moment in time. Because we're in a new experience with Slot, it doesn't evoke the same kind of emotion as what Klopp did. And with Klopp, he knew it was like an orchestra. He was orchestrating the crowd at times as and when to go, and there were certain cues. Whereas Slot's a lot more of a measured person, and the way he comes across on the sidelines. So it's almost like they're trying to get back into sync with one another to understand that. Sometimes the crowd will go, and that's the trigger for the team to really go. But Slot doesn't always feed into that either and kind of inspire the team to want to go at that sound. So it might take us the best part of this season into early next season before Slot fully gets that there is a power of Anfield that needs to be tapped into on pieces, depending on the big games that we play.
Do you know what, Errol? What epitomizes what you're saying as well? Even earlier in this, I think it was around October, November times, the main stand starts singing, and I swear Slot even says, "Don't sing my name." Like, how you know there's still work to be done with. Let's be honest, because we're an emotional club. Like, we in the league, we run off the most emotion, you know, and I feel like that connection, I think once we're in the Prem, it will strengthen. That rapport will strengthen anyway. Because I've been about 8-9 times this season. I was there for the Southampton game, and what Hooks is saying is somewhat true. After you never walk alone or when a goal scored, it is pretty dire at times this season. I think that's gonna have to be a thing that improves in his tenure, which I have no doubt will improve. But like you said, Klopp or like pretty much straight away got that with the fans, you know what I mean? And that's why they say there's similarities with us and Dortmund. But yeah, I just think that's something that needs to improve for next season, 100%.
Yeah, but you know what it is? The same reason why that didn't work in the Champions League against PSG is the same reason why you guys have kind of cruised in the Premier League. Because in the Premier League, you kind of need to have that balance, which I feel like Slot has brought to your team, which is the reason why you've got so consistent. And a lot of people, what they like to do, they like to say, like, obviously not to bring it to Arsenal, they like to say, like, Slot's come in and he's won the league in his first season, which is obviously what is going to happen. And is it a slight on Arteta? But what people fail to realize is maybe Slot's better than Arteta. That can happen as well. Like, people don't like to say maybe he's a better manager. And Slot has come in, and what he's done is you've made you not remember Klopp. And it didn't work against PSG. PSG were the better team over the two legs. I know me and Errol had this conversation the week already. I think PSG just dominated both games. That's what I believe. But where it didn't go, like I say, it didn't go right against Anfield against PSG. It's the same reason why you can play badly against Chelsea and still win, or not lose against Arsenal, or have these games. I feel like his calmness is what allowed you guys to kind of just cruise through the league unannounced and no one really noticed it, and this league is just one of them leagues that you've just won and no one's even thought about it like that. It's just kind of just gone that way, and it's another league win randomly. So I feel like his calmness has kind of helped this Premier League campaign more so than getting all emotionally involved. Because remember before they used to say Arteta was too emotionally involved. Remember that for a couple of years ago they were like, oh, they're too pumped up, and I think that might have been a little bit true. And I think Slot has got a completely different aura. It might dampen the crowd sometimes, but it will benefit you in the long run, I feel.
I just think it takes some getting used to. Go on,
You need
go on,
that
Trevor.
I was going to say, no, I kind of agree in the sense of Slot's balance has enabled the fans to almost have, not that they didn't have as much confidence in Klopp, but you knew in a Klopp game that there'll be spells where it's going to be chaotic or it's going to be, as he said, heavy metal football. And I think under Slot, a lot of the game is quite measured and controlled. And because there's a control and a level of we know what we're doing and we're just going to pick off the opposition, it means then the fans' expectation changes. There's not that want or the need for this moment of kind of heroics where the manager and the players are going to galvanize the fans and then the fans are going to do it back to the players. So I think that kind of plays into it. And a lot of the time as well, different to Klopp in recent seasons, Liverpool just go ahead in a game, and then because they're ahead of the game, you know, the fans are then kind of just on the same level as the team, and it's just kind of like a nice, consistent balance. But I do also think against PSG, you were a little bit unlucky. I think on another day, it could have easily been 1-1, 2-1 to Liverpool with some of the chances that Salah has, but PSG, I think, were probably deserving to go through.
Do you know what I will say though? And I think this is interesting because again, I've been saying before this week's again, two things, right? I said that when the draw happened and we had that run of like 5 games in 3 weeks, I was like, I'd low-key take a knee in the Champions League if it guaranteed we won the Premier League. I kind of made that a little thing in my own mind to kind of get my head around the fact that it might not happen. We might not be able to fight in Europe and in the Premier League this season if Arsenal start to pick up the points and we have a sticky patch. So if you've got to kind of put your eggs in one basket, I'm firmly putting my eggs in the Premier League basket. Now that we've kind of gone out, or we've definitely gone out, the thing that I'm interested in, Slot is going to have a buy now next season. Do what you want in the summer, buy who you want, sell who you want, do your thing. I trust you wholeheartedly. But next year, that group stage is a poison chalice. We won it. Still ended up having to play 2 midweek games in Everton and Aston Villa, and it still ended up picking up PSG anyway. So there was no real benefit to coming first in that group. So as well as Slot did for for navigating that, my genuine thing is now, I remember we had Rafa had those European nights. People say Unai Emery knows. I still am none the wiser now if Slot is a European Donny, or if he's just going to be we was lucky in Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp was a bit of a unicorn because he could do both. He could give you some of the best European nights that I've seen in my lifetime, but he could also take a title race deep into the depths of the season. Slot's had the canter of a Premier League, but now I'm looking at it like, I don't know what your mettle is in Europe. So it's not a concern at this point, but by this point next year, I want to be able to stick my chest out and say, I can see us winning Champions Leagues again. Do you get me?
Yeah, I agree with that. I just feel like because of Slot, I think that game against Man City, when you played them away, was probably the easiest counter-attacking win I've seen in a long, long, long time. And I don't think that really happens under Klopp so much. I feel like with Klopp, that could easily have been a back-and-forth game when it wasn't necessary. I feel like with Slot, he kind of just knows what to do at the right time all the time. Very rarely does Slot make mistakes. He's probably one of the most consistent managers I've ever seen, like especially immediately. Like he doesn't make mistakes very often. And I feel like a lot of managers, they kind of, like that game, obviously we had just lost to West Ham. You guys have got Man City. That's an easy slip up to keep us in the title race. Didn't happen because he just knew what to do at what time. And I think that's the difference. I think he's going to be more of he'll be in the title race again next season.
I hope so. He's going to have to defend it. So I expect him to. Do you get me?
Yeah, he'll be in the title race. He'll be in the title race almost every season that he's managing the Premier League. He's one of those managers that will, whether he wins it or not, is a different matter. But he'll be in the title race. He's too consistent. He's like a James Milner of the managerial world. He's like that, where he's just consistent every game. So that's how I feel about him anyway.
Drift, into the point that I was just making then, do you feel the same, or do you think, he's got that pedigree and we just got a little bit unlucky this season?
Big up everyone, by the way. His slot has been in Champions League for 1 season. He's been in Europe 2, if I'm not mistaken. Albeit he got to the final and only lost to Jose in the Europa Conference. So I don't think he has that like real kind of pedigree yet, that real experience of knowing how to do it, which he'll learn. And I think he did a brilliant job of finishing top of the group, beating Bayer Leverkusen, beating Real Madrid on the way to doing it. So I think you learn as you go. Like everyone's thinking about Liverpool in a different way now than they did at the beginning of the season. And I know things change, but it's just so ironic, isn't it, that nobody said we was going to finish high. No one said was going to win the league. No one said people even said we weren't going to finish top 4. Go around the YouTube football world and see how many people had Liverpool outside the top 4.
Drifty, one of them's above you. Pause, but one of them's above you.
Yeah. So you then look at the situation we're in now and you think to yourself, okay, so obviously things change, narratives change, perceptions change as the season goes on, but the squad hasn't changed. So how can you be so harsh on the squad now that hasn't achieved certain things when you didn't think the squad was good enough to achieve anything? To me, that's just you trying your best to go ham on us. And that's fine. Do what you got to do. In May, when millions upon millions of people around the world and over 1 million people ascend on Liverpool, and we're at that parade, do we really care what people think about the fact we went out to a much improved PSG who've got better and better as the season's gone on? It's not the PSG that lost to Arsenal 3-4 months ago. It is not the same PSG. Now they got Kvaratskhelia. They're more used to the system of what they want to do. We beat Real Madrid in the league format easily. Do you think that's the same Real Madrid that Arsenal are about to face now? Like let's changing. Do you get what I mean? Let's stop changing how things go. Because I tell you what, Arsenal.
Oh yeah, because we can have that clip.
That game.
In about
that ain't the same Real Madrid that Liverpool beat still. So it's not the same PSG Arsenal beat.
Because I'm seeing graphics about PSG and Arsenal getting the dunking, so we can flip reverse it in about 3 weeks' time, or all goes to plan. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bookmark that for future. Potentially, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, potentially.
Well, you see the Anfield atmosphere as well. I love when people try to do that because it's fine. It's fine. You even hear the actual people themselves flipping out. You Arsenal boys know your old manager said his only ever nightmare in world football was at Anfield. So how can it be a myth? We're not going to be great every day. But it's not a myth. How can it? You've all come to Anfield as fans or as a football team and been slapped up and the atmosphere has absolutely drowned you. How is it a myth? All right, we're not great every single time. Who is? Come on, man.
I'm just saying it's what I heard. I said through the grapevine. I didn't say it was my opinion. You know what I mean?
Don't listen to anything on the black market, Hooks. A lot of T-moves get sold on there, bro. A lot of fakes, bro.
I was just saying this season in isolation, I've been fortunate enough to go quite a bit. And this season in isolation, it has a bit. But in general, no. Like, I agree with you.
Yeah, we're allowed some time. And do you want to know what's crazy as well, Rom? Yeah, here's how I look at it as well. When you get to a certain point, the crowd does get complacent, and sometimes it's unfortunate, but it's just a way of life.
Yeah.
How are Liverpool gonna really be super atmospheric at a point in the season where there's a little lull where we know we're gonna win the league? Let's just get there. Once we get to the last few games and it becomes more of a reality, it will pick up. But right now, it's just 15 points clips. We're gonna win the league. Like, don't waste your energy now. And I'm not even saying you shouldn't, but that's how.
You know why you're spot on, bro? Because let's say Merseyside derbies, I think, our first game back after international. Then we got Arsenal to come to Anfield. Now, you're right, because they're the games where we'll come alive. But the 3 p.m. ones against teams where, like you said,
Southampton at 3 p.m. is not going to be a hype game.
Yeah. You make a good point.
I know you make a good point, but that doesn't excuse the fact that I said it as well at the start of this week. This week, our season could be done. Irrespective, it could be over. We could get dumped out of the Champions League, which has now been confirmed. And Sunday's a one-game shootout. We win or lose. But after that, there aren't really that many big games for us to get overly emotional. All right, you can say the derby, you know, we want a little bit of revenge. You can say when Arsenal come and potentially have to give us a guard of honor, but we don't have to pour into those games to get results out in the same way. So I feel like it's not necessarily a procession, but in terms of like, you know, when you want your team to go through the gears and you're gearing up to something, I feel like we've done it in gear 3. And I don't feel like there's going to be any more, not necessarily from the team, but like as fans, I don't know. Like in my head, I'm thinking like there aren't any other big games for Liverpool this season now. As long as Liverpool continue to be professional and get the job done in the 3 PMs, you know, all the way up until whatever date, the league is done.
It's true. You know what happened as well? What thing that it doesn't account for is in the Champions League, when it was a league format, in the essence, you kind of almost won the first part of the Champions League anyway. Because everyone was in it at that point. Everyone was in, but everyone was in it, and you still finished top of that as well. It wasn't like, of course, anyone can lose in knockout football, but when it came to winning that league, you won that league. So it's like you get nothing for winning that league.
I don't watch American sports that much anymore. And again, like if you're in the NBA or like the NFL and you win like the conference on the east side or the west side, and then you go into the playoffs or you go into the the playoffs for the Super Bowl, do you win something for winning that league format to begin with? Do you get like some sort of medal or something? No, you just get like
If you win your conference, if you finish top in the NBA, whether it's East or West, if you finish top, you just finish top. What you get is you'll get home court advantage. That's the best.
We didn't. All right, so we got home court advantage out of the whole fucking thing. We got home court advantage.
They got to fix that. They got to fix that. I don't know what you guys think, but my cousin says if you finish top of that league, you should be able to pick who you want in the next round. That's it. He's hell bent. He's hell bent.
I ain't mad at that though. You know, that's not about low key about shout.
They definitely need to. I think it should still go into a out of the hat situation. Whoever wins the playoff, the worst seeded team in the playoff from the beginning of the competition, you should then be able to go into a draw with them teams.
Well, that was PSG, Man City, wasn't it? That was
had to play PSG. That's crazy.
Wait, hold up. It was PSG though, because they just got in. Did they not finish 24th?
But they were seeded though, flawless from the beginning. So we shouldn't have had to play them even if they didn't have a great campaign. Do you know what I mean? Because they're still a big team. Like it's weird. Like it doesn't make any sense for us to play PSG.
Hey, Liverpool should have just beat them. Let's not change that.
Next season, I just want to win.
Let's not do
win 4 games in the league.
That's it. Like now we know how many you have to win. I just want to win the minimum amount. Get in. I'll sit 5th, 6th, whatever, and I'll take whoever I take.
This is the thing. This is when you were mentioning this earlier, right? I feel like cool. This is the first season where this is the inaugural season where we're seeing this format. But I think it's going to be the same each year because you're not just going to get the best that finish in that top 8. I reckon you're going to get the European giants that always underachieve, let's say, in that league format and finish around in terms of. I think we're not going to be the only ones that finish first and get a big team. You know, I think you're going to see in years to come, whoever finished first will get maybe, I don't know, a PSG Inter that have underachieved, but they just scraped into the middle phase.
That's why you should pick your teams.
You know what's going to happen? I disagree because where's the merit in that? Like the big team should just perform, so you don't even get in that.
You know what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing people treating certain games in the Champions League like the Carabao Cup. Yeah, they're going to be like, you know what? Let's put a couple dusty man out today, rest some man, because who cares? Winning it don't fucking matter anyway. It doesn't matter. We're going to play this team, that team.
But you see what happened to Liverpool last year? No incentive.
Errol, you mentioned it in regards to NBA. NBA teams will do that. When they're at a certain point, they'll try and like, all right, we match up better against a certain team, so let's try and finish here so we face them. Teams do that all the time.
Yeah, that's going to diminish the competition. That's going to start making the competition weaker.
It's not. Hey, just beat PSG. You lot should have beat.
Yeah. Do you know what? That makes it a bit more exciting.
All this because you lot lost. If you lot won, we're not having this conversation. Beat PSG.
Exactly. No, not at all, bro.
Of course it is.
No, but they weren't happy about PSG anyway. They weren't happy about PSG. They didn't want PSG.
Yo,
Even before we lost
They
to
weren't
them, we
happy
didn't
with
want to play them.
afterwards. Beforehand, it wasn't that. Go look at Liverpool
No,
fans
no,
after they beat.
No, it was.
No, they didn't want PSG. They didn't want
We didn't want PSG, bro. We didn't
I'm
want
talking
PSG.
about after that first leg. Go and hear how Liverpool fans were talking after that first leg. Let's not do this. Let's not change the narrative. Go.
No,
see
we
it
were
in
happy
YouTube.
we won the game, but that doesn't take away the fact that we're annoyed we had to play them.
True, but
Yeah,
you
they
lot
didn't
going
want
into that
PSG.
second leg.
Bro, look what Yoss is saying. Villa came 8th and got Bruges.
Yeah, it was.
Make that
Maybe-
make sense, man.
That don't make sense.
Come
It
on,
don't
make
make
that
sense.
make sense.
It
And we
might
had
make sense
PSG,
because
we
how
came
the
top.
format goes.
Oh, we
Now
came
gotta
third and
change
got
the format.
PSV. We
Wait.
got PSV.
You know
Now we
why?
watch it, and then you got Real, and then you lot got Real Madrid afterwards. So here we are.
See, PSV,
Yeah,
that's what you
yeah,
want, though.
yeah.
G. That's the type of game.
But that's
you
a
come
big
first,
quarter final.
you
That's a big quarter
so you
final
get
dub right
PSV,
there.
dead team. That's
Hey,
how it's
Nah,
supposed to
man, we
be.
ain't doing that, man. You big bad Liverpool about to win the league.
Exactly.
We're not doing this. I'm sorry, we're not doing this. Nah, you big bad
And also-
Liverpool, Ballon d'Or winning Mo Salah, one of the greatest players you've ever
This is
seen.
why Flawless is here, man. Flawless keeps everybody honest.
Yeah, he's not having it.
Hey,
He's not
Flawless,
having it.
make sure you don't get shirky, you know, my brother. Make sure you don't get...
Yeah.
If we
Hey,
do,
you know what?
I say? If we do, I say we should change the format, man. The format's not. Change the format. Nah. We should
I,
have gone with-
Liverpool get no sympathy from me in regards to the PSG because if you
Sure.
man didn't fast up yourself and rest players against PSV and lose that game, you wouldn't have got PSG.
No, that doesn't make a difference, bro. You wouldn't have had PSV. We
No,
still finished
no.
top. It didn't make no difference to us, bro.
No,
You
'cause
got
it
PSV
would've
because we let them
affected
get
the
3
seeding.
points against us. So we
It
helped
would've-
you, bro.
It would have affected the seedings.
No, it wouldn't, bro. It wouldn't.
It
We
wouldn't
still
have
finished
affected
top,
the
bro. We won the league. We finished top. It didn't change nothing.
Yeah.
But
It wouldn't
you
have
got
affected us.
PSV because of us, because they finished higher in the league than they were supposed to. So we helped Arsenal get to the next round. So you're welcome.
Thank you. You always a bevy. You always a bevy, lad. Go on.
You know what I
kid.
always say? This is where we need to throw the dagger in. It always hurts the further you go in a competition. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
That's all
one.
I'm gonna say. Yeah, 100. Right. Well, before we go back to the European competitions, I just wanted to take a little bit of a look back this week at something else that broke. It was the overlap interview with Gary Neville and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and it was the discussion about the plans for Manchester United getting a new 100,000-seater stadium. If you haven't seen it, you can go check it out on the overlap channels. But ultimately, from the outside looking in, it looks like there's going to be a bag of money spent in the Northwest that's going to bring a bag of dough, billions and billions of revenue into the Northwest of England and potentially into Manchester as a city on a whole for the regeneration project. And Manchester United will be the benefactors of a brand new sparkly circus looking. Again, I don't really want to troll too much. It looks very elaborate, but it is going to be a new stadium. United boys, happy? You see him through it? You call him bullshit? What's the script?
Personally, I kind of like the simulation of the new stadium. I know Old Trafford is historic and it's been there for a long time, but it's fallen to bits. I mean, there's leaks in the stadium. The surrounding of the stadium, like the training ground and some of the equipment within the stadium hasn't been updated to kind of rival like Arsenal's new stadium or Tottenham's new stadium. So I think it makes sense from the point of view of you've got new owners, they want to invest, they want to bring a new kind of perspective to Manchester United to kind of clear out some of the wrongdoings that the Glazers have done. And I feel from a hypothetical, theoretical point of view, a new 100,000-seater stadium in Manchester would be amazing. And I think even as a rival fan, if you went there, I know this is sounding a bit weird, but Liverpool in the last recent years or City have gone to Old Trafford and won. So the incentive of a big team going to United's new stadium and winning with more fans is also a bonus for the whole league. There was a point where Old Trafford used to get used for FA Cup semi-finals before they built the new Wembley. And I mean, we had the Euros in England a couple of years ago and Old Trafford wasn't even picked. So that's kind of the state of where United are. Whereas typically Old Trafford would be the number one spot. And I think not just from a footballing point of view, it will also provide concerts and also, other non-football.
Do
related.
Manchester need another concert arena though? I feel like Manchester's got a bag of concert arenas, haven't they? Flawless, what are your thoughts?
Loads.
Why can't we have another one?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
can't we have something nice? What's going on? Why can't we
Yeah,
have
but like,
something nice?
I don't know. There's not to stop you from having another one, but I just think like,
Why
you know,
not?
you spoil for choice.
It's an ego, Errol. It's an ego thing. It's an ego
Why?
thing.
Why not that? We
They need
need
to have
it.
the biggest stadium. They need to have. It's an ego thing. Like,
Yeah,
like,
you
they
know
need to.
what? Because facts, 100%. Like we do need a new
Of course,
stadium.
yeah.
Though, so I'm all for it. Plenty of other teams within the Premier League have gotten new stadiums. You see other teams who are trying to do that as well. So it's like I'm all for it. If we get a new stadium, cool. 100.
What's it going to be called? What's it going to be called?
Probably New Trafford. I'm guessing.
It reminds me of though, like midlife crisis settings where the old guy gets a kind of old school looking Porsche or Ferrari or Beamer or something just because he can. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't really know what his next direction is in life, but that's the next thing that he has to buy. A new stadium for Manchester United. Could you not have reinvested into Old Trafford? Is that not more of a sustainable project? Does that not have more legacy behind it? I'm not 100% convinced that it is the right move.
Of course they could have. Of course
No,
they could
no,
have.
but I heard-
They could
no,
have. Maybe.
I heard it was difficult to build upon Old Trafford because apparently there's like, isn't there like rivers that or lakes or whatever that go around? There's a lot of like water
Canal. There's a canal.
canals and canal. There you go, canals
It's
around
the
Old
surrounding
Trafford.
land.
Yeah,
It's the surrounding
Yeah.
land to get the permission from the council to kind of take apart Old Trafford and add to it is going to cost, or it will be more there'll be more hurdles basically to try and dismantle that and build on top of it.
I think that's a madness that like you can grease enough palms in this day and age to pretty much do anything you want to do. And you're going to spend up to however many hundreds of millions to just make something from the ground up. Like, and I think this is the other thing as well. With this project going on as a bit of a distraction away from the pitch, you've seen how long it's taken for Everton Stadium. Everton Stadium only comes live again on site for the Premier League next season anyway. Does this hamper Manchester United's ability to really put together a squad that can compete for a league whilst this project's running on in the background?
No,
I think it's one or the other.
Nah, it's not bad acting like we haven't been struggling to put together a squad without this. This is no.
I'm not. I know that's the reality. But I'm just saying. He came in and was like, "Yo,
like we was flying, and then this happened, and it's like, yo, this is gonna be a distraction. I'm all for it, but this is in the future. They talking what 2030 then, so this is like 5 years down the line. It's gonna take a long time.
He said you should win a league. He said you should win a league within 5 years as well. So how can you both things coexist at the same time?
They say a lot.
When was the last time a team got a big stadium and then competed for the league immediately? When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, I don't think
I don't remember the last time that happened.
Them two things don't conflict because none of the teams who have gotten new stadiums have really been there like that. Like when Arsenal moved to
Man City.
Ours is 20 years later though.
Yeah, Arsenal hadn't won a league. When did they move to the Emirates? What year?
2008.
2006.
Oh,
2006, no?
Was it 8?
6 or 6 or 7?
I thought it was 6 or 7.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So they hadn't won a league in 4 or 5 years anyway.
I think no, because we won. Well,
03, right?
No, 04, 04, and then we moved.
04, my bad.
I'm happy.
What league you won in 05, 06?
Wait, was it 06 or 07? So 2 years. We was 2 years.
2006. Yeah, 2006.
Oh, was it 06? So yeah, so you moved. So like 3, 4 years. But yeah, I don't think them two things don't correlate.
We got to a Champions League final as well. Like, do you know what I mean, the season before we moved there. So like we was we was playing at a very high level.
But it's not. But like I said, we far away from competing. So I don't think the two correlate. I don't think it's a distraction.
Yeah, but you guys are a completely different entity to Arsenal. That there should never be a time when your team's not competing for the league. That's the point. It's whether or not it's gonna take you what? Would you take a new stadium for say 15 years of finishing outside the top 4 and stuff like that? I don't think many of the fans would.
It shouldn't be though. If we're finishing 50, like the 2, it shouldn't take away from it. Is the point I'm making? It shouldn't.
But that's what Errol was saying. Errol was saying it's probably going to take away from it. That's what he's saying. It's probably going to take.
I don't agree.
Go on, Tez.
I was gonna say, I think Errol's point is because United don't have money, so the money that we'd use to build the squad is now going to be pumped into the stadium. I think that's where the issue lies. But I'm assuming that there's a plan to be competitive, but not competitive to where United are going to be challenging for leagues, but still be competitive where they're still in the European places, which will still enable some money to come in, and the any extra additional money that the club will make is going to be directed straight to the stadium. So I think that will be the plan. I think regardless of whether United are going to compete or not, they need a new stadium. I think something has to happen to where we need a development of Old Trafford, whether that could have been Old Trafford 2.0, where you just build on top of it, or a completely new stadium. I think something has to happen. And I think it's being kind of appreciated by Manchester Council, etc., because they know how much revenue that will bring in for the region, the Northwest region. So
it's meant to bring in like 6 billion a year or something. It's meant to,
that's why.
And crazy numbers. I don't think
it takes from the United Fund, because that's mostly going to be government funded. That won't be us.
Which is mad. Hey, I pay enough taxes in this world. I am not putting yous up.
Errol, you doing it? Thank you, Errol, man. Your taxes is helping, man. It's your taxes. That's what
I'm saying. I'm vexed.
No, apparently it's only the surrounding area. Apparently, Man United have to cover everything that's stadium based, and the government are going to pay for the surrounding stuff.
That's what they tell us. Like I said, when you generating that much money, they gonna be invested 100%.
The stadium looks good though. I can't even hate. Just because it's Man United, I'm not gonna hate. Like when you see the model in that, it looks cold, man. Yeah. It does.
Everybody gonna eat off that. So it's kind of like, of course, it makes sense for everybody involved to get it up and running as soon as possible because of how much money it generates, type of thing. But it shouldn't take away.
Don't you think Man United got too many mouthpieces though? Like, don't you think there's just too much information coming out of your club all the time?
Oh yeah, these men need to shut up. Take away the mics. I hear that. Yeah, I'm tired of it.
It's constant mouthpieces.
I'd say yes. But I think because because of how the Glazers ran the club for the last 15 years or so, they were very storm. People wouldn't know. So I think this is the opposite, where the fans are now wanting answers, and now you've got people who are actually going to be transparent. So I think it will even out, and there'll be a bit more of a level playing field where there'll be less information being leaked. But within the first year of Ineos kind of being partial stakeholders, they have to kind of give out the information, because basically they're seen as the face of the club, even though they only own 25%, and the Glazers are still in the background and they're just chilling and doing whatever they want, but they know that they don't have to say anything. So everything comes through. Barada did an interview, they were asking him questions as well after the game, and now obviously Sir Jim's done his bit, so they have to be seen as the face of what's going on, what's happening, and kind of being the intermediates for the Glazers.
Guys, though, I also feel a bit like the fall guys, because when it's not been going well, they could just get hung out to dry. The Glazers don't have to be front and center of any controversy or any mishandling of funds. You know, he turned around. The one thing that I did see from the interview is the fact that he turned around and Gary Neville's just spitballing ideas of concepts of how he could save, funds for I think he's got a charity fund that supports previous and past players. I think it's £40,000 a year. That pot's been basically vetoed now, and they've removed it. But he said, you could do a dinner with Bruno, you could do a dinner with it could have been a Rashford, it could have been a Mason Mount, whoever, and you could have sold that a couple times a year, and that would have got you his 40 grand. Jim's like, nobody's ever told me that. I'm sitting there thinking, what people have you got in the club on an operational level offering that kind of advice? Like, you used to be the best in class, and it's all well and good saying, we want to be best in class again, and we want to have the biggest and best stadium. We want to do better than what Spurs have got, bigger than what Everton have got. But at some point, you've also got to have good football, and people at all levels within the club. I still rate the acquisition of Amorim. My take is it was probably the wrong time to really give him the best chance. I think you're asking a lot from a manager to come in halfway through a season when he's not even in a good space anyway. No transfer budget in the January. But again, he's going to get a little bit of time. He's going to get that good grace. Tezza, you put out an interesting thread the other day, or it might have been yesterday, or it might have been a tweet first, and I think you want to expand it into a bit of a thread of how Manchester United can look at cost-effective options in terms of player acquisitions. I just want to let you give your theory to the panel, and because I want to see if they think you're cooking just the way I thought you was kind of cooking with that one. I'll be honest.
The initial kind of tweet that I was looking at the African footballers that play in Europe across the top 5 leagues, because obviously United have come out with a statement that they want to obviously aim to win the league, but they're trying to target players who are in that age bracket of 21 and younger. They're trying to stick with no players really over 23 unless it's kind of like a striker or a goalkeeper where we need a little bit more experience. So I was looking at it through the lens of what talented African players there are in the Europe's top 5 leagues, and there's so many. There's quite a few who play in the Premier League as well, who are well more known, like the likes of Brian Mbeumo and Antoine Semenyo, Mohamed Kudus, etc. And those ones are a little bit more expensive. But my angle was, why don't United should probably try and get those players again who are maybe not 18, 19, but around 21, 22, who are not necessarily ready. I think some United fans have kind of been making jokes saying, "Oh, United, Brighton these days, with the type of players they're getting linked with." But I think there's some merit and bonus in that, where you've got a manager who's completely new, you've got younger players similar to like Dorgu and Heaven, who we saw make his debut against Sociedad, who have shown promise. And I think if you're going to bring in a manager who's never managed in the Premier League, you may as well equip him with younger talents who haven't necessarily played in this league as well, meaning that even if they don't do well, they've still got some upside to sell on. But I think in key positions, United should still look closer to home in the Championship, or if there are any ready-made Premier League players they can get on cheap. Like we've been linked with Mateta, which is all right, not necessarily for the money that's being touted, but I think that kind of signing is fine. I think that's a signing that you make, and it will spare you on for 2 years before then you kind of have the 21-year-old develop a little bit. But I was mainly, the majority of the players that I was looking at, they all play in France. They're all playing Ligue 1. I think that's the league where you get young, technical, aggressive African players who've played in Europe, and they just transition. And there's a lot that have done that over the years, and I think that's a kind of it's a market that isn't tapped into enough by the top teams, because they typically let them go to a Brighton or a team similar, and then they sign them for 70, 80 million. So let's stop doing that, because we haven't got the money to, and go direct to source and then see if we can develop them.
Tez, you know what the problem with that is though, yeah? And this is the only thing I hate about the African Cup of Nations. Literally the only thing. If you have a lot of players in your team that are going to that tournament, it's a massive disruption if you're actually trying to win something. It's the unfortunate downfall of that tournament. It's the only negative to that tournament. If you say you got 5 members of your first team that are going to that tournament, that's half your squad gone for a month, possibly. If you're in a title race or a Champions League chase, or do you get what I mean? Like, it massively affects you. So that's the only reason why I don't know if the club would go down that road. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree with it. And I do think it is a hindrance. But I also do think you have the balance of blending your squad correctly with, and so, for example, so you don't have 5 first teamers who are in that position, but you might have 2 who are first teamers. Like we've got Ahmad and Onana.
But the thing is though, 100%, if they put a Man United shirt on for a living, they're getting called up by their nation. Do you get me? Whether you consider them to be your first teamers or not, they're gonna be getting called up.
Yeah.
They just are.
Yeah. I think you could apply the same logic to like the Caribbean or South America as well. Like I think that's pretty much what Chelsea's doing. Like they're going into those areas where they can probably get the gems for a lot cheaper than across Europe. Yeah. So, and obviously Copa America is played the same time as like what the Euros or the World Cup would be played. So it's a bit more of a safe option. So maybe if you went, okay, maybe 2 talents, one like first team and one like to be like, I guess bled through in the squad from any of the African nations. and then maybe like 3 or 4 from South America, Caribbean, or those regions where they're not so like you don't have to worry about a mid-season international tournament and potentially derailing like anything. Because essentially at the crux of it doesn't really matter where they come from. It's just cheaper to go there. But it's sort of like what Arteta and Arsenal wanted to do, where you have a young manager coming in who's never managed in the Prem before. It's probably not best to have the squad filled up with people that are A, more experienced than the manager, and B, have won or done more in their careers as footballers than the manager, because the ego, it's like he'll be trying to tell you, like, but you think you know better. Whereas with younger players, there's none of that, I think.
Moldable.
Yeah, because like, even if you look at like the likes of Martinelli, the likes of Smith Rowe, the likes of Saka, when Arteta came in, they're looking up to Arteta like, this guy's won things with Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? He's actually played for Arsenal. He's been a captain for Arsenal. So there's a respect, there's an appreciation in it. Whereas the Aubameyangs and all of the Ozil's probably sitting there like, but you get me? Like, I was at big Real Madrid, you know? Like, I've won it. Like, how's this brother telling me I need to be tracking back all the time? Like, it's just not going to work. Do you know what I mean? So I think Man United need to go down that pathway of maybe targeting younger players that are, I guess, more fresh in their like careers and don't have as much ego and are willing to like fully embrace whatever it is that Amorim's trying to push at United. I feel like building a stadium, like, I hear that it might, in the short term, is probably not going to be the best financial decision, but in the long term, you're going to reap so much from that just the fact that it's 100,000. See, you don't even need to, that's not even taken into consideration that you probably have like food, like high quality food places in there. You're going to have a ton of bars. You're going to have like
apartments, Airbnb,
everything surrounding it. 100%.
Yeah,
it's a whole development. It's a whole development. Like, it'd be like a little mini city.
Like what Man City done.
Yeah, kind of like what City did. Yeah.
But you got to be honest as well. A lot of these teams are reluctant to go for African players because of the thing that they have with the ages as well. There's like they're just not sure whether these African players are the right ages and if it's actually true. This is the truth of it. This is the truth of it. Like, a lot of these things, you got to remember, when I was in school, a lot of my bedrooms, a lot of them have been deported because they're not even the right age, bro. So you got this is the truth. So a lot of teams, you got to remember, if you're gonna look at what you think is best for your club in the long run, a lot of African players, they kind of fade out really early. Not many of them keep going on to their late 30s and stuff like that. You don't really know what you're getting. You can only know when they.
What's mad though? I've got a friend who's Nigerian who actually told me one of the reasons why that actually happens, and it's actually like a sad reality is that a lot of the time, if you come over to England and you come at a certain age, you've missed a big chunk of education.
Exactly.
So it's nothing other than the fact that they just want their kid to be able to get their kid to be educated.
Exactly. But this is the truth.
So I understand saying that they're a bit younger than they are, so they can go back and start again and not miss that precious education.
But also for sport as well,
to benefit your life in the future. Do you see what I'm saying? So I get it. I'm not gonna lie.
If you're like, let's imagine you're in an African country, you got your son and you come over to England and he's say 14, but you put him in the under 10s, he's more likely to make it, isn't he? To be honest, like he's got a better chance of making it if he starts 4 years younger, doesn't he? This is just the truth of it.
But he's only got 2 years left in school, fam, if he's 14. Whereas if you pretend he's 11, he gets to have the whole experience of education and be, do you get what I'm saying, better for it. So it makes sense. I get why they do it, to be honest.
The one thing that I will say, and I remember very first when I started with Red and then one of the first conversations I had with the likes of Paul and Chris was the need for Liverpool to have more African players. I grew up watching Liverpool not have a whole host of quality African players in our squad, but Chelsea did, Arsenal did, United even had a couple, and they won Premier Leagues. I had my own low-key conspiracy that you will win something. You are more likely to win a Premier League. Even City with Yaya Toure in there, you're far more likely to win a Premier League with a couple of African dubs in there that can absolutely boss it than you are to not have them. So I was always vehemently, I was pro Mane, I was pro Salah, I was pro Naby Keita, purely because I just thought maybe, just maybe, they can bring a source to Liverpool Football Club that we've been
and they did,
out
bro.
for years.
And they did.
It's a continent that produces quality. That's why it is a continent that produces quality. So if you can get a couple, even if it is for 3-4 years, then that can help you so much. But to Tez's point in regards to that, I'm all for that. And they don't necessarily have to be African players just as long as it's talent. That's the market United should be in anyway, to me, because it's not about us at this current time trying to win a Premier League or even compete for a Premier League. We're miles off that. Just become a competent unit again. And how you become a competent team and a competent unit again is just by getting in standards like good players. Just go get competent players who are of a good standard, and then you build up from there. Because people always try to make, oh, you're so far away. We've seen teams who are in the bottom half of the table then become better teams. Look at where Forest are now. Look at where Forest were last season. Look at where Villa were now before Emery got in. Look at where Newcastle were when Eddie Howe is in. And yes, it can yo-yo and it can go up and down, but all of those three teams I've just mentioned have improved. It's about improvement for us. That's it. Because we win trophies on accident. Somehow we managed to, as bad as we've been over the past 10, 11 years, we've won 5 trophies. How? I don't know. We're the best scam artists ever. So if we actually improve and get better, then we can definitely go and compete for the major honors and be back to where all Manchester United fans want us to be to. But we have to shop in that market. Dogu's a prime example. Smart signing. Cheap, good age, had good profile, not expensive, not big wages. You go, I can fully see. First game he played, I was like, oh yeah, I get this. Go and get 3-4 more players like that, and then all of a sudden your team becomes much better. He weren't expensive. Weren't majorly on the radar of everyone of, oh yeah, go get this guy. We're drawn out. 25 M's, boom.
Yeah, it's untapped market. It's an untapped market. Yeah. You've got people like Colo Torre and all those guys that come out of there that you get some of the best centre backs in the Premier League and the best centre midfielders in the Premier League. Drogba's one of the best strikers in the Premier League history. You find gems for cheap.
Mane, there's gems over there. I'd say we have to pay a little bit of a premium.
Well, these guys are the best history. Some of the greats. These are some of the greats of Premier League history. Period.
Even Bolton, I was watching the other day. Bolton signed Okocha for free.
Yeboah, I remember Tony Yeboah and all them guys there. And
Tez Bolton are on some madness, bro. They had Jokayev, Ferrero. I don't know what mix they had. They were moving.
They had the connect. They had the plug. They had the real plug back in the day. But just before we wrap,
sorry. I was just going to say on the documentary, Sam Allardyce actually mentioned, they said that they wanted to create this misfits type environment. So they kind of spoke to all the agents around for like bigger players to say like, you know, just try it. Come to Bolton a year or two. If you like it, stay. If you don't, you can go on and do what you do at a bigger club. And I think Okocha was the first one, and then Jokayev, and then because they were a success, that meant like Campo and all these other players.
That's crazy.
Nicholas and Elka and all them.
Team was mad. When you played Everton last year and you play against Idrissa Gueye, Doucouré, and Onana centre midfield, you're thinking, this is a long day.
It's long. It's a long day.
I can't be bothered for that. You know what I'm saying?
Just before we wrap up, please, let me know dead quick, obviously, Drift prediction for this weekend. We're going to do some predictions. I want to know if you guys, from Man United's perspective, you're going to get through to a semi-final in the Europa League. Do you know who you play as well, by the way? I haven't been
Leon.
Eye on yours.
Leon.
Yeah, we play
Leon.
The winners of Bilbao and Eintracht, I think it is. No, we play Bilbao. If we beat Leon, we play Bilbao. I'm sure it's
Bilbao or Rangers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bilbao.
Okay. So give me some predictions then. Drift, I'll come to you first because the chance for us to get silverware popped up before these other two. So what are we saying? Sunday? Yeah, no. Getting over the line.
I have a horrible penalties feeling in my gut, and I don't like it. I just don't like it, and that's why I want Kelleher to want Kelleher to play in the game, bro. Because if it goes to penalties, Kelleher is a better goalkeeper for penalties. I'm just gonna do the whole. It's my team, innit? 1-0 Liverpool. But I don't have I've got a bad penalty feeling about this game. I can't lie. I don't know why. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0 Liverpool.
All right. Man United got a good result yesterday, lads. I think it was 4-1 in the end. Probably one of the best performances you've had of the season, by all accounts, is what the news that I'm seeing. Boys, tell me, do you feel confident that European success could be on the horizon? Flores has just said you just win by luck. You just win trophies by accident. Could this be another accident?
Potentially. I think,
Of course.
yeah, potentially. I think Bilbao.
One good Bruno gets one hat trick, and these men are like, yeah, man, yeah.
No, don't do that, Errol.
I know, with the worst referee performance I've ever seen in my life.
It ain't even about
Oh my days, that referee was terrible.
Referee I've
it ain't
ever
even about the
seen.
Bruno hat trick. We've been doing this, man. We are Ponzi Scheme FC. We've been doing it. We're like, we haven't been a
Ponzi
good
Scheme
side in a
FC.
long time, but somehow we still pick up trophies at points. I'm like, all right, cool. But sorry, go on, Tess.
Yeah, I think it'll be difficult against Bilbao, though. I think United should have enough to beat Lyon. I think what will happen miraculously, which always happens and so annoying, they're talking about Mason Mount playing against Leicester on the weekend. All of a sudden, we'll get to a semi. Luke Shaw will be there from nowhere. Maguire will be fit. Players who haven't played for 6 months, all of a sudden they'll be fully fit. So I think we might fluke something.
Do you know what I seen your tweet the other day? Mikel Antonio came back on the pitch, and I had fans or someone on Twitter being like, "Yo, Mikel Antonio nearly died, and he still come back before Luke Shaw." That's crazy,
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was like, "You lie." I was like, "That's so
Crazy.
savage."
Crazy. It's true though.
Luke Shaw's been injured more than I think anybody I can remember.
How long has he got
Maybe
left?
Darren
How long has he
Anderton
got
back
left
in the
on the
day, he
contract?
used to get injured a lot.
I think he's still got a year over it. Yeah, a year.
Mad.
Yeah,
D,
he's been here.
go on, tell us.
It's outrageous. Yeah, 2027. So yeah, it's
Mad.
2027.
Year and a half.
Flawless. You back it. You think you can scam it again? You're into scam, yeah? Scammering.
We can, but am
Get 'em on
I
the line.
confident of it? No, absolutely not. I don't think I'm not with Tez on. We just get past Leon. Like I don't know about all that. Like I know there's no one thing I'm not gonna do is back this team because I know what they're like. They're definitely capable of doing some foolishness and going out. Like 100. Like even the Saucy that time, we did our best to throw that because they're awful. Let me just like not
First
even.
leg we should have won 4-0.
Yeah, they are dreadful. And even the 2 goals they scored over the 2 legs, we gave them. We are more than capable.
I want to thank Man United as well, actually. I really want to thank you because after seeing Zubamendi against English opposition, he's not the one.
You're good.
He's not, I'm good. Arsenal, if you want him, you can have him.
That's good.
I'm not even going to lie.
So yeah, let's just hope we put in a good performance and get past Leon and Bill. If it is Bilbao, that'll be a tough tie.
Yeah,
I think they're probably the best team in the competition, in my opinion. So that'll be
Lazio.
Lazio. Fortunately enough, though, Lazio are on the other side of the draw. But I think that will be the final. To be honest, I did say when Bilbao played Roma, I think the winner of that will make it to the final. Of course, I hope I'm wrong. We managed to get past Leon. Rangers do the business against Bilbao, and then that's what I'm trying to do. Somehow get past Leon. Rangers beat Bilbao because we'll beat Rangers. I'm confident of beating Rangers. And then you
played them already.
Yeah, we beat them already.
They gave him a good game, though.
Nah, we backed them.
Yeah, but we were
just equalized. We just were
throwing the ball in our own goal and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just to clarify, no, I am not confident going. I'm not confident going into any game. We're 14th.
No.
It'll be so Man United to win the Europa League after a 15th finish.
Literally.
And then there is Champions League.
You know it's gonna happen, innit? You know it's gonna happen, innit?
Yeah, no, I might put a little bet on it, you know. I don't even know. I might put a little bet on it.
If we do win the Europa League, finish as low down the table as possible without getting relegated, just to annoy people. Like finish 17th and win the Europa League just to annoy people. Just to annoy. You know how people pissed off people will be. We finished like 16th and win the Europa League. I'm all for that.
And you know what's so Man United as well, that you've been beat up by Tottenham 3 times already. Watch Tottenham make the final and this time you beat them. Watch it. Tottenham Man U final, man, you've been beat up 3 times already by them. Whack them up in the final, Spursy. Like you can just see it. You can just see it happening. It's crazy.
100%. Just D, how are you feeling about your prospects of European silverware this season now? Now you know your fate. It is Real Madrid. Was there a bit of controversy on their match? Do you think it should have been Atletico?
I watched that. I didn't even watch our game. I watched their game. I was watching our game for the first. I was trying to flip between the two, but I had to focus on their game. Really, we was kind of half through already. But I mean, you don't ever want Real Madrid. But if there's a team that suits our style to go through better, it is Real Madrid. It's a weird one, because it's like Real Madrid haven't been that good, but then again, they've got match winners. They've got exactly what we don't have. Their whole team is full of match winners, no playing style. We've got all playing style, no match winners. It's like literally polar opposites. But you would choose what they've got over what we've got. That's just the facts of it, and that's why they win every year.
Some Arsenal fans wouldn't. There are a couple. I ain't gonna even name them.
Yeah, but you know what? Our fan base is. Our fan base are a bunch of idiots, blood. Our fan base is a joke. You know what I'm saying? Everyone knows that. Our fan base get laughed at online. You know what it's like? Come on, bro. I'm here to change the game, fam. That's why I come online, bro. I gotta change. I rate. I gotta change the narrative.
You know you've got to hold the corn for them. I gotta
change the narrative, bro. I'm a real trench boy. I'm not like these youths, bro. These men are different, bro. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. The fan base is all over the place. So I gotta bring some normality, some balance back to the YouTube fan, because these managers, they expect things that they've never won. Like they think they should win the Champions League every year. We never even won it, bro. Like ever. But these men think we should have won it. They think our team's better than everyone. They compare everyone to everyone. I'm just like, bro, just hold your horses. We're doing well. We got a manager that's got us back to the top table. Yeah, you want to say Arteta out and this type of stuff, but let's just remember where we are and what we've achieved, and just try as hard as we can. But the fan base, they just think we're Real Madrid or something. I don't know. It's a bit mad still, but yeah, I feel like we can. The odds are against us, isn't it? We've got Trossard, Ranieri, and Marino up top. The odds are way against us. But if we can beat any team out of the two Madrids, you would think Real Madrid on the playing style, but it's a hard game. But going to the Bernabeu ain't no easy feat, man. Ain't no easy feat. So I don't know if that question actually answered your question, but
no, I wish you the best of luck though, still, because you
don't lie, Errol. You definitely want Real Madrid to win, bro.
No, do you know what it is, yeah? Like, as I say, for the longest time when growing up, Arsenal was always a team I had a soft spot for, regardless. It's only as the online emergence.
You Real Madrid, yeah? Is this what you're telling us, Errol?
Well, to be fair, Real Madrid, I ain't got no love lost with Real Madrid. Real Madrid have broken my heart on enough occasions for me to say I don't care. I want them.
That's their kryptonite, man.
You know what I mean? So I don't mind. But for me, I said it to you, because you aren't going to win the Premier League at this point. I said it in the last week's show. It feels as though this is the season when we knew we couldn't win the league against City. We had to go and beat Barcelona, and we had to go and beat Tottenham, because we felt like we was winners. If Arsenal genuinely believe that they have a squad that are ready to be winners, you have to go and do it against this Real Madrid side. Now, forget the odds are against you. Forget the fact that they've got match winners. Go out there and actually do it. And you know what? If you do, I said it last week as well. If you did it, and when Liverpool was still in the conversation, if you did that, then beat Liverpool, then beat Barcelona or Inter Milan in the final, I've got to take my hat off to Arteta. Because that is an absolute
no fact. I feel like if we
you gotta respect that hustle.
Yeah. But if we get through Real Madrid, then I think everyone will think we can win the Champions League, innit? If we get past Real Madrid, then everyone will be like, "Oh, they might do this," you know? Do you know what I mean? So I feel like this is a key.
The most important thing is though, you should think that this is we've got to. There's an opportunity now where we missed an opportunity in the Prem. We have to take this opportunity in the Champions League. That's what I would be saying. In the same way, Drift knows when we beat Barcelona, it was Ajax or it was Spurs, but it didn't make a difference. We had to win the Champions League that year, just for what we did in the Premier League.
Selling the Arsenal fans hope, man. I respect it, Errol, man.
No, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Errol, you ain't slick, you know. You know what I'm saying? You ain't
even though Real Madrid is the heritage game, it is tough because they got to play PSG if they beat Real Madrid, and then they've got to play Inter Milan or Barcelona in the final. It ain't just about Real Madrid to win this competition. There's some big teams left in it. Do you get what I'm saying? So
that's if PSG beat Villa, though, because it could.
Yeah, that's a hard game.
Like that's a tough game, and there's no guarantee Villa versus Arsenal. Arsenal even beat Villa.
Well, I was going to say 3 out of the 4 games Villa would beat Arsenal. So I don't even think Arsenal would want Villa to be honest.
You know what it is? It's not always just about this season, I feel like if we get past Real Madrid, I feel like the players and the manager and the fans might be like, you know what, we can really get past any of these teams now. Even if we don't win the next round per se, I feel like next year it's like, hold on, we still got past Real Madrid and we can. I feel like it's not, everyone always thinks about this season. I understand why, because we haven't won anything for a good 4 or 5 years. But for the Arsenal and the club and the players, they'll be like, we can compete with anyone now. We know that for a fact. So I think that's what Arteta will be understanding. Even if we lost to Real Madrid, he would be like, how did we lose to Real Madrid? What type of game was it? I think that's more the key part for these players. These players are still, they were the youngest team in the league 2 years ago. These kids are still young. Saka's 22, 23, Saliba's 22, Gabriel's 25, Odegaard's 20. These kids are young still. Our team's super young. So people need to remember that. Like Skelly's 18, Ranieri's 17. Our team is young. So I feel like
you know the only thing that might be bad for you playing Real Madrid, when you're at the Bernabeu, when them man there looking up at the stadium, they might be like, boy, playing there every week.
Before the stadium, you think it's at the stadium, it's when they're driving in, bro. You're going way too far.
You got to say, like Saliba and that, they might be like, yo, is this?
Yeah, they will be.
The thing is as well, the Bernabeu game is the second leg. It's not even the first leg. So the first leg is Emirates. So that makes it even crucial. More. Makes it
I don't know what. I always feel like that's. I don't know why everyone always feels like the second leg at home is better, but I always think the first leg at home is better. I've always thought that. I've always thought the first leg at home is better. You can just get off on the front foot and you can gauge where you're at. I've always thought that you can choose what you do in the second leg. You can go to the second leg and decide we're going to sit back.
If you get a result, that's what it is. If you get a good result at home, then you're more confident going into the away leg. I think people like the second leg at home because you know what you have to do at home. If you get an away result, especially if you win or draw, it's like, all right, that game's now irrelevant. We either just win at home or just must not lose at home. So that's where I think it's them. The second leg being at the burn, you lot got to take a lead over there. Have to take a lead over there.
Definitely.
Right. Lads, I have to say thank you. We are out of time. I want to make sure that we say a big thank you to Roms. I know he had to dip out. He jumped on another stream earlier on this evening. I want to obviously thank him for his time. Likewise, Hooks, he dipped out about 10 minutes ago. But go make sure you go follow them on their channels. Halftime Hooks, and I think it's Roms Andre 1 as well on the Twitter. So do make sure that you go follow those guys. Lads, give yourselves a bit of a plug just before we dip out. Just what are you up to over the weekend? Where can people find your content?
Yeah, Fam's on TV. You got me, my cousin Dean. He's a Liverpool fan. There's two of us, you know what I mean? So you got, like I'm saying, there's two man. There's just always.
I seen him tweeting me the other day, and I was thinking, what's going on here?
I knew you would have been confused. I said it because he just learned, because obviously he's just learned how to do Twitter. So he's there tweeting. I'm like, bro, you can't just confuse the whole Twitter community. They don't know that you're on Twitter. But obviously, there's two of us in it, Liverpool and Arsenal in it. So it's my cousin in it. So normally we're just going back and forth online or whatnot. But yeah, man, we just do little watch-alongs, little videos, same as in the YouTube content. You know what I'm saying? Same old, bro.
Standard. Flawless, talk to us. How's your weekend panning out? What you up to?
Yeah, people just follow Sarcasm City TV, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There'll be watch-alongs going on, content, all that good stuff, people. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sarcasm City TV. Follow on Playback, Sarcasm City TV as well. NBA content going on, all types of sporting content. So yeah, just come tap in.
Standard. Cesar, how you feeling? What you got going on over the weekend?
Oh, good, man. Just chilling. Might do a bit of reaction to England's squad that they've called up because some of the names are a bit mad. And just a few more threads on my Twitter. So at Tesky, as you can find me.
Yeah, man. Standard. Drift. Talk to us. What's your weekend looking like?
We got the cup final, my brother. So you know what I mean. One more big one before we go for the league push. So yeah, man. Just Drifted TV, Copish on YouTube and all platforms as well. Just come and holler at your boys, man. And yeah, man, big weekend. Big weekend. If we win this game, it means we've done a double. And that is an unbelievable first season. It's crazy as well. We're actually mirroring 2014-15 Chelsea season Mourinho. He went out to PSG. He won the League Cup. He won the league. Finished 5th or something to see. It's a crazy mirror of that 14-15 Chelsea season. So let's hope.
So then next season you're gonna finish 10th.
I hope not. Wait. On that note, let's roll the credits. Lads, big up every single time. Thank you for getting involved. The Cartel, man, I'm really enjoying these shows, chopping it up with you lads week by week. I know the panel rotates a little bit, but we've got some good regulars that come in and hold it down for us. So again, make sure you are dropping. I don't do enough housekeeping because I just get caught up in the chat, but make sure wherever you are, do try and share the content, get involved. We want to build a Cartel community. So if you want to be a part of it, we put the work in front of the camera. You had behind the scenes, put some work in for us, and we'll grow this thing and we'll make it a big hit over on YouTube. So yeah, over and out from us this week, and we'll be back again next week, guys. Take it easy.
No,
Bye.
jeez.
There you
Peace.
go.